And the truth is not free. I keep saying it. You know, we were reading about the Alice Bailey's agenda earlier on, and it is an agenda that we're all living today. The truth of the matter is that you must be discerning. They come to tell us, they say, take this one free, take this one, free. It's the truth. They say, buy the truth and sell it not. The truth isn't free. So we get trapped. We get trapped in all of the things we're saying. You don't know who is even saying it. Somebody sent something to me. One of those days, and say, what do you think? I think who said it? She said she doesn't really know. She just saw it online. That's the problem. What people say is actually about who also that they are. And every thought you actually see online is a human thought. It's not the thought of God, in quotes. But we've made Google the thought of God. So for us, Google is the thought of God. Google is the mind of God. We even Google Bible interpretations. So we want to Google revelations. Somebody told me that that she was going to do that pastors can do ministrations that that he would just go to ChatGPT and say, explain this to me. And I said, well, I do not have a problem with all of that. But I have a problem with us missing the place of revelation. Missing the place of revelation for just knowledge. So if you have discernment, it will help you to filter the things you hear. But if you are constantly hearing the voice of everybody, you won't have a filter. Discernment, right? Discernment is a key aspect of knowing which way to go. But if you are in the business of the big gang of 1,000, chats in WhatsApp, you are in the gang of, you are 1 million people in one place. If you are in that place, you can't discern. So I started to ask, at what point do you now gain revelation? If you need to actually begin to, you say, I saw it on Google. Google is not a final thought. I keep saying it. In fact, it's my son that says it. He said, Google is human mind. It is. So where is the place that you are able to understand that which part, which human mind do I follow? Which path does God want me to follow? God is always going to direct you to that person who is speaking the truth that you need at time. So you must discern. And God will send you help through human beings. But you must discern the help that's been sent to you. So that means as a parent, you must build your spiritual, tentacles. Because in this time, the information that is available makes your spiritual tentacles it dampens it. It dampens it. So if you're able to actually think it, right? You don't be cloud so that God will be able to even meet you and tell you this is it, this is it. But if you are everywhere, like it was at the team that said at the Lagos Summit, if you are not at rest, you can't discern. So rest. So anytime that you're going through an information, you must have your spiritual tentacles. You must have your spiritual tentacles open. So let's move away from this. I call it the Indomie knowledge. I'll just go on Google, I just pick what and just say it. There's a place to also create because of the God factor. So is that God factor, is that revelation that puts you in the place. The Bible says, I will send pastors, I will send you teachers. So the prayer should be, who is my teacher? That's the prayer. So if you are here, you are there. Everywhere they say parenting meeting, you are inside. Everywhere you confuse yourself. You confuse yourself. So the first thing you want to even do is that, do I even know who I'm parenting? Any right teacher will take you towards you understanding yourself, understanding your child, and understanding your process. The moment you are able to do these three things, you will find the right system you must be in. You need to first of all, find it. So that's one issue, pressure that we're having with our time. Number 3 is keeping up with technology. This is what it looks like. You're constantly monitoring and managing your child's use of smartphone, social media, video game, the internet. It's a lot of pressure. Parents are overwhelmed. Parents are overwhelmed. Parents are, the change, the potential danger, screen addiction, inappropriate content, So it is important that we begin to actually look at this media. That's why when you come into the inner circle, one of the first things you learn is how to create a media plan in your home. Many of us don't understand why. You are going to be under undue pressure if you do not have a plan for your media. What plan do you have? If you don't have a plan for media, the media will control you. What's the plan? What's the plan for media? Or you just wake up, everybody wakes up in the morning, everybody just, continues their way, just does their things and all of that. Is that how it works? What do you guys do? Now we're dealing with screen addiction. That's what we're dealing with now. We don't even know what that is. We don't even know what it is. A lot of parents are struggling with their children because they were introduced to screen and they were battling with screen. In fact, if you don't have a media plan as a parent, the media will use you. It's either the media, you are using the media, or the media is using you. And I can tell you for free, more than 80% of parents have the media using them. In that 10-point agenda of Alice Bailey, he said, use the media to propagate the agenda. So the media is using you, not the other way around. Because there's no direction. There's no direction. So you want to begin to ask yourself, how do I manage technology? So number 3 is keeping up with technology, not screen addiction. Because under technology, keeping up what is really what's happening and all of that. How do I begin to manage it? You need to understand the digital world and set boundaries. Set boundaries. Some of us, our children, do not have any form of boundary at all. So the media is so that's why you wake up in the morning, your TV is on from morning till night. I've never been able to understand it at all. Because you have DSTV. So you wake up in the morning, your TV is on. There's some homes you go to, there's always TV in the background. Why? Most times when I travel, the TV never comes on. And then, what am I saying? I don't get it. So there's no control over media. There's no control. And that's one of the pressures. Now, children are becoming more aggressive because there's no control over media. Parents must learn how to limit media, encourage children to actually talk. Have you noticed? Who else have noticed? You pass a child now, one of the things that you hear is, children don't know how to greet and have conversations. Who have noticed it? Most children don't. A child passes you, he's greeting, you hardly hear what they are saying. You hardly hear what they're saying. And you're wondering, the child did not greet me. The child did not. He said, but he has greeted. When you call the child back, say, I greeted you. But you never actually hear anything the child says. Why? Because our children are no longer, we're not actually scaling up our children. We're not. The other day I saw a media information where the boy killed the sister. What's all that? Media. In fact, we have even have an increased sibling rivalry because of the media. A friend was telling me a story of how one particular soap opera the children had. It was on siblings and siblings fighting. And that escalated, cost, it turned into a mess in their house. So every time you just get to a point where you need to actually ask yourself, is the media using me or am I using it? And when I talk about media, I talk about social media, I talk about TV, I talk about all of the media that is around you, games. We're having a conversation with a family member, and he was talking about how a son cannot pass exams, write exams in school because he's addicted to games. He's addicted to games. Thank you, Cheryl Christie, for saying that. My own children does that. So it's something that we need to pay attention to. Because the screen has taken away so much. When you look at it, you just find out that our social life is dying, our conversational life is dying. All we are doing is that we are just, being in the space where we're just moving, and technology is taking away everything. Now we have children who are so addicted to the screen that it has now caused screen autism. Is that where we want to be? So we need to stand up and do something better. So keeping up with technology is another issue. Now, of course, every one of us, all our children, once they turn 13, one of the first things that they get is a phone. I've never been able to understand. People have asked me, what age is the appropriate age for children to get a phone? I don't understand what a 13-year-old, I have 14-year-olds. I remember saying it to a family friend many years ago. My children were less than 8, and her child at 11 had a phone. And I said, my children are not going to have any phone till they are 18. They don't need it. She said, it's because your children are still young. Let's see, by the time they are 10 now, they will get a phone. My children are 14. They don't need a phone. So when people ask me, at what age should a child own a phone? I usually say, even you that own a smartphone, you are not in control. The smartphone is controlling you. So you're in one place, people are talking to you, you're pressing your phone. You're pressing your phone. You're pressing your phone. Because you cannot, you are not able to, there's no control. And then you do that, a lot, and your children are, and then even you say, it's because so that they can learn tech. Let me ask you a question. Do you know that there's a difference between being tech savvy and being social media savvy? Most of your children are social media savvy. They're not tech savvy in any way. So all you do is that you have children who know how to twerk on TikTok. They do all the challenges on TikTok. They're on Instagram, they post every day. You're on Facebook, they are jumping from one block to another. But these same children cannot use Canva. These same children cannot put a PowerPoint. These same children cannot, they can't do anything. And every time I ask, You're raising children that are consuming tech instead of making tech an advantage. So our children are not on social media. They have no business with it. They don't own smartphones. They have no business with it. But they can do PowerPoint. They can create Canvas. They can create, they can use CapCut and create their videos. They can do all of that. They can do all of that. So we now have a generation of TikTok twerkers. And you say, oh, no, is this thing. But your children cannot create a Excel sheet. You said they are learning how to be tech savvy. They can create an Excel sheet. It's interesting that we are in the place of consumption of tech. And then you wonder why somebody was saying, oh, tech giants don't put their children on screens and all of that. Yeah, because you understand that that's not what tech savvy means. So your children are social media savvy. They are not tech savvy. They are not the same. They are not the same. So being social media savvy is one conversation. Being tech savvy is another conversation altogether. So the question I'm going to leave with you today is, are your children social media savvy or they are tech savvy? Since the twins have been 5, they started learning how to create PowerPoint from 5. Now they are PowerPoint gurus. They know how to use Excel. They know how to work out all of this. So they are not just, they don't need social media to become tech savvy. Number 4, there is the pressure of social comparison. The pressure, you compare yourself with your children to others, whether it's your friends, your neighbors, people on social media. I usually tell parents, I say, when I teach you, I'm not teaching you for you to go back and say, coach's children now does. I say, no, that's not what I'm teaching you to go back and tell your children. I'm teaching you to skill them up. That's the only idea. I'm giving you examples. Example. So it's important to look at Sanusi Abisola is saying it. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. That one of the days that my undergraduate students do not know what MS Office or computer program means. But they are all on social media. And will my children be on social media eventually? Yes, they will, but they will be there as using it as an enhancer. Tech is an enhancer of your skill. It's not the skill itself. And that's why we missed it. We missed it. And this is a real challenge. Raise your children, skill them up. The first thing you want to actually do for your children is not to hand them over a gadget. Let's talk about social comparison. And then we will talk about the last one, right? This number 6, number 5. Social comparison. It leads to unnecessary anxiety. Hey, my neighbor's student made all A's. Oh, my children there's no need. How do you manage it? Focus on your family's unique journey and your goals. Celebrate your strengths, your milestones. Rather than focusing on what others are doing, I'm always shouting it. There are people that their children have written books. Children are, that's not the line we are called. My children don't have any books written, and there's no pressure anywhere. Pressure yourself unnecessarily. Is it good to admire the things that have been done? Yes. But you must understand that an intentional parent follows a goal. An unintentional parent follows a crowd. Now that this pause of children just writing book, oh, my child has written books. Now it's like a bragging right for parents. It's like a bragging right. So we all brag, oh no, my child wrote book at 10. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm saying that the pressure is unnecessary. Give your child, if that is the line that your family is doing, why not if not? But if that is not, please focus on what your family is called. That's why in the inner circle, when you come in, the first thing that you learn is how to create a goal dynamic to your. If you have not registered in the inner circle, you're on your own. No? As in the whole system will just swallow you up because there's no system created to actually help you move from point A to point B and all of that. So the pressure of social comparison will kill you. How do you manage? Focus on your journey. Celebrate your strength. Remember that social media will only show you the result, not the full picture. And one time, I had a parent who was saying that, coach, your children cook well. And when my children cook, everywhere will be scattered. I laughed. And I started to share with her that one of the things that I've told inner circle parents, and of course, I say that all the time, is that parenting is in the mess. If you are not ready for the mess, you are not ready to parent. If you are not ready to be the mess, you're not ready for parenting. So all this, hey, your parents are doing this. I want the children to start learning now. They can't learn now. They can't learn now. There has to be a process of mess. When the children started cooking, when they finish cooking, in my mind, I'm like, hey, are you sure that I wouldn't have just done this thing myself? But I understood that without the mess, we're not going to actually make progress. So we endured the mess. So you must be ready. You want your children to be able to iron, be looking like my son has burnt my clothes before. He was 7 when he burnt my clothes. He's part of the mess. Why the 7-year-old boy ironing? Why not? And that's what has made him today. He's 14. He irons like a guru. But he needed to burn some clothes and make some mistakes for him to learn it. Our daughter used to burn a lot of food. Make it will look soggy. Make it will look, all those your fears is what the problem is. All those your fears. That's what the problem is. You are afraid of the fear. You're afraid of the mess. But it's in the mess. It's in the mess that you actually see the glory. So when I share a picture of a finished product, and our daughter had just made abacha, and you go, abacha that went to Harvard, and you sit down somewhere in your corner and say, see coach's children, see the way they do everything, they come out, see coach doesn't do anything. Do you know how much of the mess that I've made? These are the questions and the conversations you must have. So if there is no mess, forget about the glory we share. So there have been a lot in the background. I'm sure you hear more of those stories, right, if you are in the academy. That's why I always say, do not follow the glitterati of the social world. Because sometimes the process is not in there. The truth, again, is not free. What you see is finished product. Nobody is made by finished product. Everyone is made in the process of the making. Everybody is made in the process of the making. So if you're not ready to key into the process of the making, and all you want to see is, some people even see those things, they say, you have lied. How can a 12-year-old do this? How can a 14-year-old, you are a liar? You're going to continue saying you're a liar because you have not been able to actually look into the process. You have not been able to. So you must engage to make the process. Everyone is made in the process, and the process, of your making is in the process. So that's one key factor that you must understand. So while you are there, comparing how your children, friends' children, they are just perfect. Hey, once they wake up in the morning, they clean their body. You know the work that parent has done. I was with an inner circle parent a few days ago. She runs a hotel and she hosted us, and she was telling how her journey had been. And she said at the beginning, it was a mess. I was thinking that, this thing, where do I start from? But today, it's like, the same children will call and say, she has children in the university. And say, Mommy, just thank you. Hey, she's been in the inner circle for since 2020 or so. Thank you. what you have done for me. But in this process, it was tough. Your food will burn now. Your clothes will be messed up. Your child. So why are you in a hurry? You want to wake up, and after 1 year, you have one perfect child. Like how? People even ask me, so if I do this course after 1 year, will everything be perfect? My answer is no. And that's why I keep shouting. I don't do kalo kind of parenting. I don't do parenting by emergency. I do parenting in the process because I understand that if there is no process, then you are not going to have result. When a child has problem, one of the things we do is that we start from the, hey, here's what the child is about, the fundamental. If you consult me, and if you know me, one thing I'm known for is reverse engineering. I always go back to actually think and see reverse engineering. When I do it, I see their faults right in their faces so that you know where you pick it up from. So I'm not giving you any ready-made, magic wand. It's not true. You will see your errors, and if you're ready to walk the journey, then you walk with me. So I'm not into tell me what to do now. I don't answer those kind of things. I don't understand. Tell me what to do now. Just tell me what I can do. They're not ready. And we do that all the time. Nobody should even when you send me those chats, of course I don't respond. Tell me what it is I can do now. So that once I do it, everything will be okay. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Everything cannot be okay just like that. You don't want to walk the journey. You want to wake up one day, your child is just perfect, lying down there. Just lying down there. Most of us are not interested in committing to a process. How do you want to have the kind of result you're looking for? You just want, Coach Wendy. Some people even come to me and say, Coach Wendy, my child, my children are just behaving badly. Hey, just tell me what to do. I'm tired of this bad behavior. What to do is that you get into the academy and start learning. Even if I tell you, and that's why parent coaches fail. Because many parent coaches gives you the tips and the hacks. And at the end of the day, they keep coming back. They keep coming back. They keep coming back. Because you will come back over and over again because you have not been able to get what is right. And that's why we hit children. We hit children because of this lack of following process. We just want anything fast. No, I just want, what can I do to my child now so that everything that he's doing will end now? There is no magic wand in parenting. There is no sharp parenting. No, it's not. Thank you, Coach Omola. There's no sharp solution. You do the work and you stay. See, when it comes to parenting, you must have staying power. There is a staying power that gives you results. It's not hit and run. No. You do today, tomorrow you are not doing. That's how your result will be. Hey, today, tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. You do the work. You do the work and you stay in the process. It's not it's not no happy and way parenting. You go through the back, you come back to the it's not there. So you must have the staying power that gives you result. That's one of the things that you must ask God for. Staying power. If not, you will do all those kalo, fire brigade. Hey, give me now. Give me tomorrow. Once you give me now, everything will be okay. I don't do that. The first thing you do with me is that you consult with me for an hour. I sit with you. I find out where the issues are coming from, and we deal with it decisively. I am not going to tell you 10 things you will do for your children to start fighting. What does that mean? When in the real sense, maybe the fight is because you have created a trophy out of one child and you've created an imbalanced system in your home. How do you think that is going to stop? It will stop because there's a process. So there's no kalo. So don't chat me and tell me I've been listening to you for years. Just tell me something now that will solve the problem. Join the academy. And that's always my answer. Join the academy. This is so key. And then the last one, navigating changing parenting norms. Navigating changing parenting norms. Shifting expectations in parenting rules. You know what it means to raise a successful child? Where we now have modern day parenting that is now more child centered, with focus on emotional well being. Of course, everywhere is just, how do we navigate all of these norms? What do we do? Of course, this causes disagreement. This causes, this causes a lot of, scattering all of that place. And then also not even understanding that parenting is changing. What happened? I was still being reminded by clients yesterday when I said that to watch pornography in our time, it was hard. How do you compare your time with this time? That's being, culturally unintelligent. Most of us are culturally unintelligent. Your child does something, say, in my time. Yeah, Coach Omola, it took Jesus 30 years to enter into the prophecy of the ministry. 30 years. Meanwhile, you want to raise your child now, and the prophecy you heard about him will manifest at age 10. The child is not even 20 yet. You're already jumping up and down and saying, hey, I've lost the child. Relax. Get the right knowledge. There's something knowledge does to you. It settles you. That's one thing I know. It settles you. So the changing parenting norms, things are changing. Parenting is changing. How things were done, it's now becoming different. The things your children are seeing are different. So how do you think that it will be the same kind of parenting you're doing now? So you need to ask yourself, how do I navigate it? How do I navigate it? So it's that navigation. Because if you don't understand, you'll be confused, you will disagree, especially between generations. So you're constantly fighting. Sometimes I see people fighting because you've not understood that you need to navigate the changing parenting systems. You need to navigate it. How do you do this? There are a lot of normalized things that we used to do, like saying to ourselves that sibling rivalry is normal, children will fight and they will still be friends. It's normalized nonsense. Serious normalized nonsense. Many times we find out that those of us who were left, that our parents didn't intentionally build relationship with us and our children and our siblings, we don't have any. It's normalized nonsense. There are a lot of things that we used to know that we need knowledge. That's the only way to manage it. We need knowledge. You need to stay teachable. You need to stay learnable. You need to stay flexible about what your child needs per time. And the truth of the matter is that many times, what your child needs now will not be what they need next year. How do you navigate it? How do you know? So changing culture, changing systems, changing everything. Do you know that dealing with sibling rivalry, the way it was dealt with in our time, caused even more sibling rivalry? Now we're saying, come and learn to navigate the system of resolving sibling rivalry. You are there saying, what is it said that they're going to even teach me? I beg. My parents, the way my parents did it. Or you say things, but we turned out okay. Every time I say it, I say, are we really okay? So you must stay teachable, stay learnable, and stay flexible. If there's nothing you heard today, that's one thing you must hear. Stay teachable, stay flexible, stay learnable. Because at the end of the day, these are the things that you will need to actually be able to move and to be able to redefine your process. So it's important, right? It's important that you begin to look at your process and recreate it. Recreate your process. Deal with these pressures of our time, especially the pressure to navigate the systems. Knowledge will give you access to all of these other pressures. So don't just settle. Don't just, fight. Don't tell me that's how you are. That's how they rate me. If you're in that place, break the table because it will keep you in a place. It won't teach you. One of the things that you must note is that as you're journeying, things are going to be changing. You are going to be changing. Your children will change. So in those times, what will you do? And that's one way to deal with the pressures of parenting. While people complain and say, the pressure of parenting is too much, some of us are not pressured though. Some of us are not pressured. And I'll be sincere with you. So if you are having issues with your parenting systems, come and learn. Even if you are not having issues, please, it is it is important that you actually start learning what to do before the issues come. Because as soon as the issues come, you are gone. That's when it now becomes fire brigade approach. You are now running kitty, 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 kita, kata, kata. Learn even before the issues show up.